Hi, I'm Kate Simmons, and I am here with Joey Klein, and we are going to deconstruct the results. It's official. I've got a clipboard and everything. Okay, so we're so many of our clients bring us these amazing results. I actually have a result that's near and dear to my heart today. So I got two of them. Here's the first one. My husband and I, and he's like totally right over there, which is hilarious. My husband and I have been together for 19 years, over 19 years. We've been married for 14 almost. We've got a little anniversary coming up. And over that amount of time, a lot of shit goes down, right? And things like just straight up, you get comfortable and you get bored, right? And at a certain point, I can say that we were operating more like roommates than like people who were madly in love with each other, right? You know, you're just managing the kids and you're managing the family and you're roommates. And I'm sure like there's a lot of people in long-term relationships for whom that's the case. And all I can tell you is that in a very not too long period of time, like I started putting some focus on the relationship and what I wanted to see in the relationship. And at this point, I might blush. I'm like sincerely a little bit obsessed with my husband. Like I think about him during the day. I may or may not send him little cute love texts during the day. I'm looking forward to coming home. There's a level of intimacy there. There's a level of fun there and connection that's like, it's like we're kids again and we're at the beginning of our relationship. And it's totally awesome, but here's my question. How the fuck did that happen? Like what goes on that happened? Because I want to be able to get back there when I lose my way, because you know life happens and sometimes I get off track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it really begins with what you just said, which is you just get into a different routine of life. You get into the doing of life. And if you look at couples when they're first together, you know, they behave differently than when they're generally together for some time. Like when you first start to get to know somebody, you're thinking about what you can do for them. You know, you're going on dates, you're going out of your way to carve out time to just spend time with each other, right? One-on-one, doing something, you know, fun. You think out, you know, what could we do to create fun activities together that are outside the usual. You know, you like walk botanical gardens and you go to the zoo and you go to movies together and you plan a dinner and you spend time in an intimate intimate space just with like you and the other person. And when you get into the doing of life, even if you don't have family, it's like all of a sudden you just get into the routine of sort of monotony where you just kind of wake up and go through the doings of life and next thing you know you have a roommate. And so for most people, it's really just starting to entertain or remember what are the things that I do at the beginning of a relationship when I feel attraction and romance and so on, and starting to do those things again. And what can help is starting to construct a clear vision of the relationship that you want, because a lot of people, they have no idea what relationship they want to actively construct. And when you start with vision and you get clear on the relationship you want to have rather than the relationship you have, all of a sudden you can start to evaluate your way of being with somebody very differently. It gives you context. And so it's like if you're bickering with the other person, you can go to that vision and that outcome of romance and passion and, you know, trust and rapport and like all the things we want to have, intimacy and so on, like great sex. And you start to realize like, oh, if I bicker to this person, I complain, it's not going to translate to these things I say I want. And you start taking ownership of just your side of the relationship and consistently make sure that your way of being, not occasionally as a grand gesture, but on a day-to-day basis, is such that it aligns with what you say you want to have in a romantic relationship. And whether it's 20 years, you know, a 20-year long relationship, 30-year long relationship, or it's just 6 months, you know, old, you know, if you look at, is there passion, is there intimacy, is there vibrancy, is there fun, you can directly correlate it to what we're doing with each other day by day by day.
Awesome. And I think what you said there, what really struck and made me kind of say, oh yeah, that's the thing that I did. I stopped, I started looking at what can I bring, who am I being? Like who am I being with my husband? And how am I focusing on gratitude and how am I focusing on love and what fun thing could we do? And really getting focused on specific date nights and specific benchmarks that were just about us. And man, that really made the difference. So you think back to the beginning and you think about what can you bring to the relationship, right? And you start maybe pointing a finger not at the other person but at you and looking like, who am I being here? And then training and focus, right? Am I getting those steps? Like, are those the things? Are those the key elements?
I think those are it. If you break it down, it's what's the vision of relationship I aspire to create?
Okay.
Like, what is the outcome that I really want to make sure I have?
Mm-hmm.
Number two, when have I behaved in a way where that outcome was there?
Right.
And let's name what we were doing so we can repeat them. It's always easier to, re-execute on something that we've done before than construct new behavior.
Yeah.
And then number three, measure, evaluate, adjust. And so really use that vision for relationship that we want to create as context and pay attention to the subtle but consistent things, habitual things we do day after day after day. Like that very simple thing. Hey, is this way of thinking, is this thing I'm about to say to my person going to produce that relationship, or is it going to, create something else?
Yeah.
And it's I think that what we miss is the stuff that we do on an hourly basis, on a daily basis, that defines the relationship we have or we don't have. So if I'm going to complain, do I need to complain right now? Would I have done this on month 2?
Yeah.
Right? Like
love
month 2 of
that.
knowing the person, I would not have gone there with this complaint. I would
Yeah.
not have gone there with this, I would have held that inside, maybe thought it, and, did something different. So, hey, is this action that I'm looking to execute on going to produce the result I'm looking for? And just constantly coming back to those key things.
I love that. I'm always going to remember that. I'm going to be thinking like month 2. I'm going to put it through the month 2 filter. Awesome. Well, thank you, Joey. And that was Deconstructing the Results.